Hey beautiful souls! Welcome back to Her Psychology, where we dive deep into the raw, real psychology of relationships and attraction. Today we're unpacking 7 unattractive habits older men sometimes show that younger women find totally off-putting. I've heard countless stories from my clients and friends in their 20s and 30s about behaviors that make them cringe in age gap dating. If you're an older guy wondering why things aren't clicking or just curious about these dynamics, this video is for you. Let's explore with empathy and insight to build better connections. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more psychology gems. Let's get started. 1. Acting overly controlling. Younger women cherish their independence, so acting overly controlling is a major turnoff that kills attraction fast. My client Emma, 27, shared how a man in his 50s she dated constantly texted to check her whereabouts or questioned her plans with friends, framing it as care, but feeling suffocating. This behavior often stems from insecurity or outdated expectations, where some older men assume a protective role without consent. Younger women, raised in an era of empowerment, prioritize autonomy in their careers, social lives, and relationships. They want partners, not overseers. Controlling habits, like dictating her schedule or disapproving of her choices, signal a lack of trust and emotional maturity. Emma felt like she was losing her freedom, which made her end things quickly. It's not about age, it's about respecting her space. Studies in relationship psychology show that trust and mutual independence are key to attraction, especially for women in their 20s and 30s who value self-determination. When a man tries to micromanage, it feels like he's undermining her strength, not complementing it. The fix? Embrace her freedom as a strength, not a threat. Ask about her passions, support her goals, and trust her decisions. Showing confidence in her ability to navigate life creates a foundation of respect, which is far more attractive than control. Attraction thrives when both partners feel free to be themselves while building something together. 2. Mansplaining everything. Mansplaining, condescendingly explaining things she already knows, is a vibe killer that screams arrogance. My friend Lily, 30, told me about a date with a 45-year-old who lectured her on graphic design, her own career, assuming his age gave him superior insight. Younger women, often highly educated and confident, find this patronizing attitude deeply unattractive. It's not about sharing knowledge, it's the assumption that she needs your wisdom because of your years, which dismisses her expertise and intelligence. This habit often comes from unconscious biases, where some older men feel entitled to teach rather than connect. Lily said it felt like he saw her as a student, not an equal, which crushed any spark. Psychological research on attraction highlights that mutual respect and intellectual parity are crucial for younger women, who've grown up in a world valuing their voice. Mansplaining disrupts this, creating a power imbalance that feels dated and dismissive. It's less about the topic and more about the tone, acting like you're the authority on her interests. Instead, engage with curiosity. Ask about her work or passions, listen actively, and share insights as a peer, not a professor. If she's into photography, don't lecture on camera settings. Ask about her favorite shots. This builds a connection based on mutual respect, which is magnetic. Authenticity and humility outweigh any urge to teach her something she already knows. 3. Neglecting personal care. Neglecting personal care, like outdated grooming or skipping fitness, sends a message of low effort that younger women notice immediately. My client Sarah, 28, described a date with a man in his late 40s who showed up in wrinkled, outdated clothes and hadn't prioritized hygiene, yet expected her to maintain a polished look. Younger women, often invested in their own appearance, see this as a lack of respect for themselves and the relationship. It's not about vanity, it's about showing you value the connection. This habit can stem from complacency or a belief that age excuses effort, but it's a major turn-off. Sarah felt he didn't care enough to present his best self, which made her question his investment in her. Psychology tells us that physical presentation signals self-worth and consideration for others. Younger women, immersed in a culture of self-care and wellness, expect partners to match their effort, whether it's a decent haircut, clean clothes, or basic fitness. Neglect here feels like a double standard, especially when they're held to high standards themselves. The solution is simple but powerful. Invest in yourself. Update your wardrobe, maintain hygiene and stay active. Not to impress but to feel confident. Small changes like a fresh shave or a gym routine show you're engaged in life and respect her enough to show up fully. It's about signaling mutual effort, which builds attraction and makes her feel valued. 4. Being stuck in routines. Inflexibility, like clinging to rigid routines, kills the spontaneity younger women crave. My friend Mia, 31, dated a guy who refused to try a new rooftop bar because it wasn't his usual spot, dismissing her excitement for new experiences. Younger women, often adventurous and open to growth, find this rigidity stifling. It's not about stability, it's about seeming unwilling to evolve or embrace her world, which feels like a rejection of her energy. This habit often comes from comfort with established habits, but it signals a lack of adaptability that clashes with younger women's dynamic lifestyles. Mia said it made her feel like she was dating a set schedule, not a person. Relationship psychology emphasizes that shared growth fosters connection, especially for women in their 20s and 30s who value exploration. Refusing to try her favorite activities, like a concert or a new hobby, creates a disconnect, making the relationship feel one-sided and predictable. To counter this, embrace her suggestions with an open mind. If she loves hiking, join her on a trail, even if it's new for you. Show you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. It's a sign of emotional flexibility and investment. This doesn't mean abandoning your preferences, but balancing them with hers creates a partnership that feels alive and mutual, sparking attraction through shared adventures. 5. Overusing youthful trends. Trying too hard to act young, like overusing Gen Z slang, or wearing trendy clothes that don't fit your style, comes off as inauthentic. My client Zoe, 29, laughed about a date with a 48-year-old who kept saying slay and yeet awkwardly, trying to sound hip. Younger women value genuine confidence over forced attempts to blend into their generation. This habit often stems from insecurity, fearing the age gap makes you less appealing, but it backfires by seeming desperate. Zoe said it felt like he was performing, not connecting, which killed any chemistry. Psychological studies on attraction show that authenticity is a top trait younger women seek. They want to know the real you, not a caricature of their peers. Overdoing trends, like wearing skinny jeans that don't suit you or mimicking TikTok lingo, signals a lack of self-assurance. It's not about age, it's about owning who you are without pretending to be someone else. Instead, lean into your unique style and experiences. Share stories from your life with confidence, not as a bid to seem cool. If you're into classic rock, introduce her to it authentically, not by copying her playlist. Authenticity fosters trust and attraction, showing you're secure in your identity, which is far more appealing than any forced attempt to act younger. 6. Dwelling on the past. Constantly reminiscing about better days or exes makes younger women feel like they're competing with your history. My friend Tara, 26, bailed on a guy who spent half their date talking about his 80s college days and past relationships, leaving her feeling like a placeholder. Younger women, focused on building their future, find this focus on the past disconnecting. It suggests you're not fully present or invested in the now. This habit often comes from nostalgia or unresolved emotional baggage, but it alienates women who value forward-thinking partners. Tara felt like he was living in a time capsule, not with her. Psychology research highlights that emotional availability is key to attraction. Dwelling on the past signals you're not ready for a new connection. It's not about erasing your history, it's about showing you're excited for what's ahead with her, not stuck in yesterday. To fix this, focus on the present. Ask about her dreams, share current passions, and build new memories together. If the past comes up, frame it briefly as a lesson, not a highlight reel. Showing you're engaged in the moment, her moment, creates a sense of shared potential, making her feel valued and sparking deeper attraction. 7. Ignoring emotional cues. Ignoring emotional cues, like pushing for intimacy too soon or dismissing her feelings, is a deal breaker. My client Rachel, 32, dated a man who kept pushing physical affection despite her saying she needed time, making her feel unheard. Younger women, attuned to emotional intelligence, expect partners to respect their boundaries and read their signals. This habit often stems from a lack of empathy or misunderstanding modern dating norms, but it feels disrespectful. Rachel said it made her question his ability to connect meaningfully, as emotional attunement is a cornerstone of attraction. Studies show younger women prioritize partners who listen and adapt to their emotional needs, reflecting a cultural shift toward mutual respect in relationships. Ignoring cues, like not noticing she's stressed or pushing commitment before she's ready, signals a lack of care, eroding trust and making her feel like her feelings don't matter. The solution is active listening and empathy. If she's quiet, ask gently what's on her mind. If she sets a boundary, honor it without pressure. Showing you're attuned to her emotions builds a safe space for connection, which is incredibly attractive. It's about proving you value her as a person, not just a partner, fostering trust that deepens the relationship. Attraction thrives on respect, authenticity, and emotional connection, not age. Reflect on these habits, embrace growth, and show up as your best self. Ladies, seen these behaviors? Share below. Hit that like button, subscribe for more psychology insights, and let's keep building better relationships together.